Hello, I am Sheena Carroll and I am an author and knitwear designer, and welcome to my next writing vlog. So this is kind of take two on the series that I started to do a couple of months ago, and then I was just really kind of exhausted and sick, and I'll post a card to what was going on up here. I'm still kind of dealing with that. I'm still tired, but I'm sleeping like half an hour, 45 minutes when I take a nap instead of 2.5 hours, which is a vast improvement. So I'm getting back into my writing and publishing, getting ready for my fall release, which comes out, I believe, October 6th. It's usually the first Tuesday in October that I have my fall release. And I'm doing my editing. So basically, last time I was trying to do a vlog to kind of show you the process of how I go through my edits and everything and prepare for publication. And then I was just exhausted and it didn't happen, and the publication date ended up getting pushed back, and just nothing went to plan. So we're doing take two, and I've already done, I think I am done with the story edits on this book. I'm still doing a few line edits here or there, and my goal for tonight is to work on some formatting and pulling in like the front and back matter. So stuff like the copyright page, adding my links to the back of the book. I usually have some sort of author's note or historical note. So I'm adding those in tonight, and then I can start another read through tomorrow and just confirm that what I have here is what is actually going to go to print, and then I can send it out to my ARC readers. You know, this book is called Colors in the Dark, and it's about a Victorian medium, and she comes from a family of grifters, basically. They're fakes, and she is forced up on stage to earn money for her family, but she really wants out of this life. She knows that it is not what is best for her and what's best for her gift. So she's trying to escape this really toxic situation, and it deals a lot with gaslighting and emotional abuse. And as someone who has dealt with those situations myself, it was a very laborious but a very important book for me to write, because as I was writing it, I was coming to terms with a lot of the toxic attitudes that I grew up with. So I think that it's a very important book, and I hope that everyone really enjoys it. I know that it's not going to be to everyone's taste, but that's how books work. They're not always for everybody. So I'm getting ready. I'm going to do the back matter here, and then we'll just move on from there. Okay, so it's been a couple of days. I didn't get any work done. I had a really bad mental health day yesterday, so it is now Wednesday evening. Finished up work for the day, and I'm going through and I am doing my line edits for this book. I was able to get most of the formatting done, put in my front and back matter already, but now I'm having to go through and do the tedious task of going through line by line, making sure there's no spelling or grammar errors, making sure that the wording is exactly what I want, that there's no words missing or anything like that, which is a very easy thing to miss when you're reading through for content. So now I'm doing the word for word stuff, and this is going to take a while. I need to find myself a copy editor who will work 4 hand knits. Ash can do it, but she doesn't have time right now, and I don't want to put more on her at the moment. So I'm doing it myself this time around. Sometimes I do it myself, sometimes I hire help for it. I've been trying to hire more editors, but They are very expensive. It's a few $100s, and we just moved, so all of our money went into moving. And I also found out the beginning of this week that, or the end of last week, actually, that I'm getting laid off at the end of the month. So I don't have extra money that I can pay other people for services right now, unfortunately. So I'm just trying to get through this book and really need to work on my promotion this time around because I don't know if I'm going to be able to find another job or how long it's going to take. So getting back to this, and I guess I'll see you in a little bit. I want to get through at least a couple of chapters tonight. We'll see how it goes. Good morning. It's Thursday, the
27th. Monday was my last day at my day job. Tuesday, I spent all day doing errands. So yesterday was my first official day as a full-time author and designer, which is better than saying I'm unemployed. But I forgot to film. So today I'm just going to kind of walk you through a day in my life with the schedule I kind of created for myself. So I do still have an alarm set, but it goes off at 9 a.m. instead of 7:45 now. So that went off. It's now 9:30 because I spent half an hour in bed snuggling with my cats. And my work day starts at 10. So let's go get some chai and some cereal and then get started on some writing stuff. So I wrote about 1,000 words this morning, which is about 2 pages, and I think that's a fairly decent day's work. When it's not NaNoWriMo, that's usually what my goal is for a day's writing. So I'm still kind of getting back into the swing of writing. I took the entire summer off from drafting, and I only did a little bit of editing. So I think that that's a pretty good stopping point. I'm a little bit early. It's not quite 12 yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get dressed and maybe put some makeup on because I want to film a bunch of B-roll shots today for the podcast and for a sewing vlog that I'm working on, or a sewing video. And I also need to do some like flat lays and thumbnail photos and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the afternoon. It is almost time for my lunch break. I'm not super hungry at the moment, but I am going to grab another glass of water and maybe a snack or something, and then I'm just going to sit down and read for a little bit. I have a book that I started reading ages ago, and with the move and everything, I just wasn't sitting down to read very much. But I feel like I'm finally starting to get back into a reading mood after being in a reading slump for over a year, basically since the pandemic started. So I'm gonna read for an hour or so, and then we will move on to photography and filming and stuff. Okay, I'm back. It is about 5-ish. I had to run to Target to pick up something for Ash, but I've already taken some flat lays that I need for videos. I recorded most of a new episode of All Dressed Up and Know Where to Go. I'm going to finish the rest of it tomorrow. And I'm basically done with like work for the day. I still want to do some cleaning and stuff in the kitchen, but for right now, while Ash is wrapping up her work day, I'm just gonna chill out, read for a little bit, have a bit of a smoke, and then we'll go for some questions. to work for knitwear, and I did. So it is very common, at least in circles that I move in, that people trade services with each other. So I posted about trying to find a copy editor who was willing to work on trade, and I found one. So I'm making socks for my copy editor. And that, I'm sorry, my cat wants into the room, one of them. But it's going to end up saving me a lot of money. I know that this person is reputable and has a background in like language and writing and teaching, so they should be very good at this. And even just having a second set of eyes on the book is going to be really helpful. So I'm going to be sending that off to them probably Monday, tomorrow. And I've also got yarn picked out for them, which was very serendipitous. She sent me her favorite colors, and I was just like, I have exactly the right yarn for you. So pulled something out of my stash. I get to use stash yarn. And even with like shipping and the cost of the yarn, it's saving me a ton of money, because a copy editor is usually between $150 and $300. But when you take the time that I'm putting into the actual knitting, then it evens out. But I don't always have $300 just sitting around that I can spend. And I am definitely trying to outsource more, both because of my mental and physical health, and also because when you have outside editors, then you're paying for that experience, that expertise, and it makes a better product in the end. But it's just not something I can always afford to do, unfortunately, especially right now, with right after we move into a more expensive apartment, finding out that I'm getting laid off. So I'm still looking for a job. Still don't really have any leads, but it's fine. It's been a week, so it takes time. We did go out Halloween hunting today, which is why I'm all gussied up. So we didn't get a whole lot. We got a couple things for the kitchen, which are still out there. They need to be washed. Ash found this like cast iron trivet in the shape of a pumpkin, which was really great. But for myself, I just grabbed a couple of things because I don't have a lot of money right now, as I mentioned. So we hit Michael's, Joann's, Spirit Halloween, and Home Goods. And Spirit, I was really disappointed. They didn't have a whole lot of their homeware stuff out. And a lot of the stuff that I liked online, they either didn't have in person, or it just looked super cheap and fakey in real life. So I might still order a couple things online from them, but I'm going to hold off for a little while because nothing I want from them is super urgent. But I did pick up these earrings, which are backwards. These little cats in crescent moons, which, I don't know if you can see it here, matches my tattoo. That's awkward. I have a thing about cats on crescent moons. It goes back to high school. And then one can never have enough socks. So I got Ouija socks. And then I first found this particular tin in Portland, I think. And it was either Portland or it was when we were in Cincinnati. I can't remember now. But I have bought 3 of these Ouija tins. 3. And they keep getting busted. The first one got broken when I was taking care of my parents' dogs, and they were on leashes outside, and one of them just like ran the leash around my legs and took my legs right out from under me and I fell down the front steps of their porch. So I ended up landing on my bag and it got bent over the edge of the stairs. The other one, I don't remember. It might have been the same incident. But I love these tins for like pills and of course for mints because mask breath. But I wanted to have one good one that I could display because I keep buying them to display and then they get damaged. So that was the other thing that I got from Spirit. And let me take care of this wee beastie. Okay, so then we also did Joann's and Michael's. And for some reason, the places around us are just not putting out as much Halloween as they normally do. And it's not going out as early. Like last year, we had Halloween stuff in July. And now it's like August 20th or something. And there's almost nothing. There's like half an aisle each at Michael's and Joann's, and that's it. But I picked up some other stuff that I needed that was not Halloween. So I got it's a long dress that's very gothy and very cute, which you will see eventually. But it was sized weird. So I ended up cutting it open and it will fit as a duster. And I got this to bind the cut edges. This is just satin blanket binding. And it's going to match the materials that are already in use in it. And blanket binding, it only comes in like 1-inch widths, which is fine. I can fold it over and it'll be the width that I want. But I just really didn't want to make my own satin bias binding because that's a pain. Satin does not like to hold still when you cut it. And then the only other thing that I got was a copy of Interweave Knits. This is the Fall 2021 edition, which I love my magazines. Like every time I go out, I want to buy a magazine. And I mostly buy knitting magazines, which are a little bit harder to find. And even like our Michael's and our Joann's hasn't really been carrying like Vogue Knitting or Interweave Knitting, or there was a Noro magazine for a while, and they've just been really hard to find. And even our bookstore doesn't really carry a lot of knitting or crochet magazines. It's all focused on like quilting, which is fine. I'm not a quilter. I know how to quilt. I just prefer not to do it. But when I find my magazines, I pick them up. I love my glossies. So that's it on the update for today. Now that I am passing off copy editing to someone else, she's going to have it until about mid-September. We're looking at a deadline of about September 14th for her to get it back to me. That means that I can work on other projects. So I can get started on doing a read-through for my NaNoWriMo book, which is the second book in the A.J. Marshall series, which is the one that came out in April. Magic in the Headlines was the first book. The second book is Magic in the Jazz Age. And it's, I think I've got a video that I will link to that is all about that book, what it's about and everything. But I can go ahead and start reading through the second book, which I started ages ago, and then I never finished because it dealt with Nazi-type people. And I was writing it right around the time of a certain election that went badly. So I didn't really finish it. For reasons. But I can go back to it now. Bad guys get their comeuppance. And that can be a hard thing to remember sometimes. But we keep moving forward. And karma's in it.